Boom, boom. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from or going to watch from. Super excited to be here and very excited about today's subject. I hope you're having a great start to the year. We are already 8 days in here in New Zealand, and usually people start off with a bang and fizzle out very quickly. And my goal this year is to help as many people finish the year the way they wanted to start it. If you're ready to go, I just recommend you get a piece of paper, get a pen. Hopefully, you're not driving. If you are driving, then you do this another time. But the idea of today is that you will get a few questions, a few subjects for you to write down things and think about things and process things, because we are all about training, not just teaching and you hearing something, but you train to engage to become. Right? That's what we do in the kingdom. Boom. So before I kick into how to view 2025, a few days back, I did a video on what to do before you set goals. And I talked about three important things: reflecting, reviewing, and debriefing your previous year. A lot of people try and start something fresh without closing something old, right? Try and walk into the new without closing the old, and they bring the old with them. So when I'm coaching people, when I'm walking people into new things, we end up finding a lot of things that are still coming into their life from 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. So if you've never done the process of shutting off the previous years, chances are that you will take into this year things that you don't want. And that's one of the reasons people have repeat cycles, right? So make sure you watch that one. It's a 15-minute clip, and you can do some of the homework there, and I know it will benefit you. All right. And so today I named this Finally Unlock Your Full Potential, because firstly, I put the word finally in there because most people just repeat the same year over and over again with a slight different twist, with a slight different expression, but it's the same underlying year, like Groundhog Day, but it's Groundhog Year. Okay. And you get to change that this year. I know a lot of people who think that it's only in God's hands. They think that God controls everything and God decides everything. And so if they had a good year, it was because God opened something. And if they didn't have a good year, it's because God held something back. I'd like to propose to you that when God made man, he gave man rulership, right? He gave man management, governance over the earth. That's why he made Adam. And he gave Adam this free reign to co-create, to make this place like heaven. So you have a lot more to do with how your year goes than you realize. Typical religion likes to throw away responsibility, ownership. We like to throw those things away, and we like to blame God for a lot of things without realizing. We blame God for things that didn't happen or things that did happen. So I'm calling you to grow up this year. And it's not for everyone, but some of you are going to hear what I'm saying. You're going to understand what I'm saying. And this is going to be the greatest year of your life because you're going to choose to grow up. Before I go deeper, the Bible says that when you are wise for yourself. And when you are a fool, you alone will bear it. That means that there is something very specific about who you are for yourself. The things you do, they benefit you. So you don't need to worry about other people's lives this year. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to talk about what I see for this year. And obviously, I'm not trying to give some big prophetic word for the body, but this is some important concepts that I think matter this year around self-governance and you building what God has put within you, which is going to be very important for the next 4-year season. Okay. So most people set resolutions by February. They say that February 6th, most people's resolutions are done. They quit. And this is so common that people stop making resolutions. They stop even setting vision, setting goals. They stop looking forward. So if that is you, by doing what I said in the last video, you will get rid of all your fear, all your worry, all your discouragement, all your disappointment, and you'll be fresh to go again this year, right? You'll be fresh. So I'm speaking to those of you that know that this year you don't want to have the same kind of year again. It's very painful. It's very boring. It's very exhausting to have the same year over and over and over again. Right? It's like when you go to the gym and you meet people that have been going to the gym for 10 years, 15 years, but they're not getting fitter, they're not getting stronger, they're not shifting their body. You know something is wrong in the programming, right? Yet they keep going because they think something's okay, but nothing is shifting. The very thing that they want hasn't changed. They haven't grown or developed into what they want. And it's the same in the church. You will find that there are people that just go year after year, year after year. They're not necessarily changing or growing or maturing. They just like a ritual. They feel good to do something every Sunday, every Wednesday. But the real reason for gathering, the real reason for going into the word, the real reason for engaging God, beholding what you become, is not happening. Okay. So when you come onto this page and things that I do, we're all about training. And I want to encourage you that this year you can walk into the fullness of what God has for you. Okay. So the other reason I use the word potential is because everything that we are unlocking has already been put inside you. When you were fearfully and wonderfully made, your Father put within you the seeds of everything that you were created for. So all these seeds have been sitting in there in potential form. And what we are looking to do is to turn the potential into a reality. Take the potential and make it what it was supposed to be. It's in seed form. We turn it into trees. Okay. So potential is dormant till it meets intentional action, right? Potential, the ability, it's there. It can be something awesome, but it's there without becoming what it could be because there's no intentional action. Even today, I'm going to get you to take intentional action. Potential can be recognized. And this is one of the things that happens with prophecy, prophetic words. People hear prophetic words and they go, yeah, God said this, God said that. Awesome. He did say that, but it's in potential form. So potential can be recognized, but it's not actualized till you execute, till you do something about it, till you move. I'd like to propose to you that this gospel is not just a theory that you sit and hear and feel good about. It's actually a reality that you get revelation on that seeps into you and it changes your life. The gospel is a doing word. There is a go in the gospel. The commission that Jesus gave us was to go. When Jesus met the disciples, he took them on a go journey, not a sit, listen, and learn journey, on a go journey, right? And so when you even read about the hearers and doers, when you see the foundation in terms of the man that built on the rock and the man that built on the sand, the difference was the action that was taken. So as we go into these three things, now there's many more things that I'd like to share, but a 20-minute podcast can't cover all these things. If you want to go deeper on all these things, you can jump into our coaching group. The link is there in the caption. This is where I train with you, and we train to actually see results. We don't talk about it. It's not just fluff. There's actual training for what it looks like to develop kingdom capacity and to walk into your God-given purpose, which takes time. We develop that. So you might want to jump in that. But let me go ahead with the three things that you want to make sure you do. Now, as I tell you these three things, these are fundamental things. These are basic things. And some people really look at this and they think, oh, I need something greater. Tell me how I can go through the 7 realms to meet the 7 spirits so I can have the 7 engagements. But they're not doing the basics. Last year, I created this thing called Blueprint Unlocked. And it was really interesting to me when I created this program, this course. Many people bought it, and I had probably my first pretty ruthless feedback from a person who sent me an email and called me all kinds of things and wanted a refund, and I said to this guy, hey, you could have just asked for a refund. I would have just given it to you. Like, it's not a big deal. Here you go. But what is this rest of the stuff that you came at me with in the email? And he's like, oh, this course is so basic and da-da-da. And I was like, oh, did you go through the whole thing? And he was like, no, I did the first 5 minutes. I'm like, so you didn't go through the course, you didn't apply it, you decided it doesn't work, and you want your $50. That's what it was at that time, $50 back. And I'm like, here's your $50, but I just want to say to you that you might be in a place where you think you know all this stuff, but you don't even do the basics, the fundamentals. That same week, I had one of my clients who's doing really well in their life, in different areas of their life. And they messaged me going, man, this is a game changer. The same course, one person who's struggling in their life gets angry, says it's too basic, right? And sends me this seething email. I give him back his money. I'm like, goodbye. And then another person who's doing really well in their life, look at the same course and go, wow, this is a game changer. So this is the thing about fundamentals. Everyone that you meet that's doing well in life, that things are happening in their life, they do the fundamentals really well. They do the fundamentals consistently. They don't ignore the basics. So some of what I say might sound basic to you, but if you're going to implement it, if you're going to engage it, it will change your life. Okay. So here we go. We're going to start with this first thing. The first point is to make a decision. Before you set your goals, before you look to what you want in 2025, you want to make a decision. Now, a lot of people think that a decision is just a choice. I choose this, I choose that. And that's how they set their goals. That's how they set their vision. But a decision is not just a choice. The word decision, the Latin origin of that word, it means to cut off. So when you really make a decision, what you are doing is cutting off every other option. When you truly make a decision, you don't say, okay, I'll do this, and then maybe 2 weeks from now, I will do that. When you make a decision, there is no that. There is no plan B. There is no, I could change my mind later if I want. It's like marriage. When you get married, when I got married in 2010, I chose my wife. I decided she was my wife. And once I went past the decision phase, this wasn't up for debate. Most people do not choose and then decide. They stay in the choice realm. And by staying in the choice realm, they don't have to commit. But the word decision, the origin is to cut off. So I cut myself off every other option. And this is something that teaches you capacity. When Jesus walked the earth, he was very clear on why he was here, what he was doing, who he was here for. And you see him repeat many times, for this reason I came, for this reason I came, for this reason I came. He wasn't playing around with choices. He had decisions to make, and he made decisions and he stuck to them. In the Garden of Gethsemane is a battle of a decision. It's not just a choice. The choice, he went from choice to decision. And once the decision was made, he followed through. So when you are a person who wants to grow up and be like your Father in heaven, to be like Jesus, you will learn how to make decisions. And sometimes you will make a decision, and the Bible says you make a decision and you swear unto your own hurt. That means you make a decision and you know it's going to cost you and it's getting hard and it might be painful, but you're going to get it done. You're going to stick to your word. You're going to stick to your decision. So the reason I put this as number one is because most people don't know how to make a decision. They make choices. Choices is the first step. But after you make a choice, there has to be a decision where you decide, you know what, I'm going all the way. So what's the decision that I think you need to make this year? It's this one, that you are going to intentionally execute all year. The decision you want to make is that you are going to keep moving all year. That's the only decision I need you to make. As a coach, I teach people that as you go, you grow. You don't grow and then go. As you go, you grow. So I am getting you to make a decision in your heart that I am go this year. I am go in the bumps, in the ditches, in the valleys, in the mountaintops. I am go no matter what's going on. That's the decision that you need, because in reality, everybody has bumpy paths. Right? They talk about success not being linear. Success is not boom. It's but eventually you realize that you're way further than you were before. So that's the decision I need you to make, is that you are choosing to keep moving no matter what. If that is you, let me know in the comments. Decision. I am deciding, right? I am deciding. Let me know in the comments. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to talk to you about is that in the kingdom, goals are not like in the world. The way we are normally taught goals is that goals are just accomplishments. You pick things you want to accomplish so you can feel better about your life. So let me first start here. The kingdom and the world function very differently. The kingdom is a world within the world. The kingdom is a wheel within the wheel. The kingdom has a different government. It has a different constitution. It has a different king. And you are going to get to decide which kingdom you really belong to. So the kingdom I belong to, where Jesus is my king, has a different economy that no man on this earth can mess with. It is totally pure. There is no corruption in there, right? It is totally fair and just. It's filled with abundance, no lack. That's the kingdom I belong to. That kingdom, which is where I was born from, when I was born again, when I was born from above. I was born into this kingdom. I choose to live by that kingdom because that kingdom was something designed for me by my Father. So the way the kingdom functions is very different to the world. If you are trying to find God's will, the king's will, in the world's pattern, you're going to be horribly disappointed. And religion teaches too much of that. So I encourage you to start learning about the kingdom. Get out from the world wheel, get into the wheel within the wheel, into the kingdom, right? And so when you make goals in the kingdom, it's not about accomplishments. You're not trying to get an A+ and prove your worth to people. You're not trying to show people, look how successful I am. It's none of that. In the kingdom, you are fulfilling a purpose. The purpose has a bunch of assignments on it. And these assignments give you vision, right? And this vision gives you revelation. And so you are walking out a maturing journey in the kingdom. Goals, vision, are created for you to mature and build capacity in the kingdom. They're not there for you to prove your worth to anybody. If you can understand this, then when you are pursuing what God's putting in front of you, you'll be unstoppable because you're not trying to feel good. You're not trying to portray that you're someone amazing. You're enjoying the journey with your Father. Okay, so there are three things when it comes to kingdom goals that I would like for you to remember. And I hope you're writing some of this down. And I hope you're going to entangle with it. You're going to ask questions of yourself and do something about it this week, right? So number one, in the kingdom, it's about vision, right? Without vision, people perish. Now, I know religious structures talk about vision every year at the beginning of the year and da. But hear me out, okay? Without vision, people perish. Another translation says that without this, people cast off restraint, okay? So the vision is just giving me some place to look at, to focus at, a place I want to go to. So I take time to write down an outcome. I take time to write down a place I want to get to by the end of this year, right? And that's a beautiful thing, to set the vision, set the goal, which is actually just setting the vision. This is the direction I am going to go. Very important for you to set that, okay? Then the next thing is revelation. So you go from just a vision to, as you are engaging that with God, you are going to get revelation. It's this year, you need to stop living by other people's revelation. Like what I'm sharing with you is not just revelation. These are concepts that you can take, you can eat. I'm giving you some raw material. You see, one of the things about what we're doing, what you see some kingdom trainers do these days, they give you raw material. I'm giving you raw material. You have to cook it. You have to cook it. You have to eat it. It's for your own benefit. That is better than me giving you a pre-digested meal, like milk. When I give you milk, it's a pre-digested meal. I heard Neil Cole talk about this, right? Which is very true. It's a pre-digested meal. So this year, you want to make up your mind that you're not going to eat someone else's meal that they already digested and spat out for you. This is where the rubber hits the road. I hope you will take raw material. I'm giving you raw material, okay? And you will cook it, eat it, and have your own nutrition from it. All right, so from vision, we go to number 2, revelation. You get revelation for yourself from God. Without revelation, people cast off restraint. What does that mean? They just live however they want. What they do every day doesn't matter. When you don't have a place you are going, when you don't have a place you got to be, you can just do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, which is fine. But you cannot expect a life of purpose when you live purposelessly. When you live unintentionally, you can't expect intentional outcomes. It's not going to work like that, right? So the revelation that you get as you engage your vision gives you the sustenance to move. That revelation is between you and God and no one else. You don't need a third party. Jesus came to remove all third parties. And now he's opened the way for you to go directly to your Father and move on this. Okay, so number 1, vision. Number 2, revelation. And then number 3 is purpose. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable, right? Miles Monroe said this. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. That means that if I don't know the purpose of 2025 in my life, I am more than likely going to abuse it. Okay. Now, abuse is abnormal use. Abnormal use. I'm just going to use it for whatever I think it should be used for. And I miss out on its original intent. You see, it's not an accident I'm alive in 2025. It's not an accident you're alive in 2025. There is a reason I'm in Auckland, New Zealand in 2025. There is a reason there are things happening in my life in this time. It all has purpose. So when I look to my year and I get the vision, I allow the vision to turn into revelation. And as I get the revelation, I see the purpose. All right, the purpose, the why behind it all that the Lord and me are walking into, I engage that year. Okay, I engage that goal. That's how you would break down the word goal in the kingdom. There is a vision, you get revelation for it, and then you start moving in the purpose of a thing. Okay, now for time purposes, I got to keep moving on. All right, but hopefully this is making sense. Let me know if point number 2, the goals in the kingdom, did you get that? Are you ready for your vision, revelation, and your purpose? To understand, and the purpose is for this year, not for your whole life, right? I'm talking about the purpose for the year. This is another thing that's really hard for some people to grasp, is that 2025 is this year. It's going to change next year. So there's a purpose here for this year, and that purpose is going to evolve next year, right? It's not just there's a purpose for my whole life. There are purposes for seasons. There is a purpose for different times in your life. There are purposes for different things that are unlocking in your life, right? Timing matters. Timing makes a big difference, okay? So the last thing I want to hit is the power protocol. I talked about this very important protocol, which is the protocol of process. This is number 3. Okay. The protocol of process. In the kingdom, we engage the process. One day at a time. One day at a time. So I set my vision. And when I set my vision, I get the revelation, which means now that thing on the outside has become something on the inside. Now that I have the revelation and I understand there is purpose behind this, and I set my feet to go that way, I break it down into simple daily steps. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that there's 12 weeks and I want to lose 12 kgs in 12 weeks. I break that down into, I'm going to lose a kilo a week. And by the way, don't set these kind of goals. I'm giving you an example. Okay. I'm going to lose a kilo a week. Then I work out with God, with the wisdom I have online with ChatGPT, right? With a personal trainer, I work out what is it going to take for me to lose a kilo a week. And I work out a nutrition plan. I work out an exercise plan. I work out a sleep routine. I work out how much water I got to drink. And I break it down into my simple everyday. This is the part that loses most people, guys, because everybody wants to take the big jump. They want to take the huge jump. When I meet people, they're like, oh, I'm going to run a 21K. I'm going to run a 42K. And I'm like, have you run 1K lately? Have you run 5Ks lately? How are you going to jump to that? Oh, I'm just going to do this great thing. Where's my Goliath? I'm going to kill Goliath. And I'm like, hey, your bear has been waiting for you to slay it, right? Your lion has been waiting for you to slay it, but you want to go find Goliath. It's not going to work like that. We build incrementally, compounding. All right. And eventually you hit this exponential growth. So when I set the vision, I get the revelation. I know there is purpose behind it. Then I break it down to simple daily moves. And all I do is I look for today. So today, which is a Wednesday, okay, here in New Zealand, I look to my day and I have my 4 things I'm going to do today. I'm going to go to the gym, do my little workout. I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to stick to my nutrition plan. I'm going to go to sleep at 10. You understand? And that is my success right there. Just today. Even Jesus says that tomorrow has enough trouble of its own. It does. So stop worrying about tomorrow, right? So once you set the vision, we bring it back down to what I'm going to do daily and we let the vision go. We let it be because that is an outcome of what I'm doing today. It's not something I must pursue today, all right? And I hope you see this. When you learn how to do a little bit every day, you'll look back 6 months later and go, what just happened? And people think, whoa, look at the transformation. They don't understand. No, I just did something small every day. And that's how I got here. That's how you walk anywhere. You take one step at a time. You can't take 100 steps at once. That's how anything happens in life, one step at a time. So the power protocol, which is some people would like supernatural, spectacular. The power protocol is simple process. You're going to have to go through the process, right? So I'm going to close all of this with this. Jesus went through his process. He was born. God came as man, and he submitted to the rules and the laws of a human being. And he spent his time very intentionally. From 0 to 12, he knows why he's here. He's learning the Torah. He's learning the scriptures. At 12, he's with the teachers in the temple, and they're having great conversation, and the teachers are surprised at his questions, at his answers. But he was on assignment. He knew the vision. He had the revelation, and he understood the purpose, and he just one day at a time. From 12 to 30, he's developing. Luke chapter 2 says that he grew in wisdom and stature and favor with God and man. This is an incremental process. This is not, he jumped a step. He was going through his incremental process. And one day, people saw him at 30, heard him at 31, and were like, whoa, isn't this Mary's son? Isn't this that? They didn't understand. No, this guy has been walking daily. This man has been choosing daily. He moved past just a simple choice into a decision. So I want to encourage you, don't just hear what I say and get excited about it, but write this down and write it down for your life. I need you in your assignment this year. You and me are part of the same body. You and me are in the same team. I need you on assignment. So don't get distracted with what Bob is doing, what Donald Trump is doing, whether you're going to have food in your country, whether they're messing with the weather, whether there's going to be earthquakes. I understand these are all very nice, shiny syndrome subjects. But any subject that you don't have direct control over is taking your energy. It's wasting your time. Right now, every now and then, may you pray about it, think about it. Sure, right? You may do that, but you're not here for all of that. You're here for your scroll. Psalm 139 talks about the days written on your life. We need you on your assignment. So I want to encourage you. Right? I want to pray that you would step into that 2025. Don't worry about anybody else. This year, you pursue what Father has for you, that we as a body may get blessed with everything that you walk into. So bless you. Love you lots. Again, if you want to go deeper on the training, you want to jump into our group mentorship. Yes, it costs. And in the months to come, I'll tell you about why it should cost and what money does. But those of you that are ready to go, then this is your sign. Jump in the group mentorship. Let's move. Let's build. Otherwise, do the homework. And I'm going to see you in a few days with the next podcast. Bless you. Talk soon.